IB Mathematics Applications and Interpretation, Paper 1. Question number 1. The straight metal arm of a windscreen wiper, this is the one, on a car rotates in a circular motion like this from pivot O here through an angle of 140 degrees. The windscreen is cleared by a rubber blade which is just 46 centimeter long. The whole thing is 56 centimeter long. And this drawing is showing the motion. Calculate the length of the arc made by B. So this B, basically they're asking about this big arc. Okay. And whenever we want to find arc, it is always the fraction of the angle at the center, 140, out of 360. And that fraction of the whole circumference, right? The whole circumference is 360 degree, which is this. But we have just 140 degrees angle here. So we will find that fraction of the circumference. Circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. And that's what we're going to do. We can cancel these zeros and cancel this 40 and 36 also. 7 and 18. So it becomes, these two can also cancel out. All right. 7 over 9 multiplied by pi and multiplied by radius. A radius for this arc is whole 56. So let's put this in your calculator and you get your answer. What I get is 136.833 centimeters. Right? We have to round it up to 3 significant figures, which will be 137 centimeters. Okay, B part. Determine the area of the windscreen that is cleared by the rubber blade, this white part basically. So if I find the whole circle's area, this sector is 140 out of 360 fraction of that area, correct? If I subtract this small sector, which is 140 over 360 fraction of this smaller circle with this radius is how much? 10, correct? If I subtract this from the whole area, I get the white part, isn't it? And that's what I'm going to do now. So B part, it will be pi r square. This is the area of the whole circle, right? But the bigger arc, this one, bigger sector, not arc, bigger sector will be 140 over 360 of this pi r square. So pi, and what is the radius for this big sector? It is 56. Correct? Similarly, this is the area of big sector. Now let's find the area of small sector, which we have to remove from this, which is this one. It will be same 140 over 360, but this time the radius will be just 10. Why? This is whole is 56, this one is 46, so remaining for this particular part is 10. And from this area, we will subtract this area. So let's write them here. Area cleared will be 140 over 360 pi 56 square minus 140 over 360 pi 10 square. If you want to make it simpler, we can do this. Take 140 over 360 pi common from both, because both of them are having this, and we will write just 56 square minus 10 square inside. So we can cancel the zeros and 7 and 36 here. So what do we get? 7 over 18, and 56 square will be 3136, 10 square will be 100. So we get 7 over 18 pi. I forgot pi, right? We have to write pi also. Pi times 3036. Let's use our calculators to find this. What I'm getting is 3707 times 0.29. So we will round it off to 3 significant figures again, which will be 300,710 centimeter square. A group of 130 applicants applied for admission into either arts program or sciences program at a university. The outcomes are as follows, okay, in this table. Find the probability that a randomly chosen A, that means they're choosing only one randomly chosen applicant from this group, was accepted by the university. So probability of accepted will be total accepted divided by total applied. Okay, so accepted are these 17 and 25, 42 total students were accepted. Out of, there are how many? 88 here and 42 there. So 88 plus 42 will be 130. Yeah, so it is, denominator will be 130, and we'll simplify this. It will be 21 and 65. That's the answer. 21 over 65 is the probability that a person chosen will be the one who was accepted in that university. All right. An applicant is chosen at random from the group. Again, one applicant. It is found that they were accepted. It's confirmed. They were accepted, meaning that the person was out of those 42 into the program. Find the probability that the applicant applied for the arts. So accepted, right? So B part. Probability that person was from arts provided he was accepted. In that case, we already know that total number of the students who were accepted was 42, and how many of them were in arts department? They were accepted 17. That's the answer. Two different applicants are chosen now. There are two now. At random from the original group. Original group means the total number of group, which was 130. Okay. Find the probability that the both applicants applied to the arts program. Okay. The first, choosing first person who applied to the arts program, and this was the people, no? These were arts program. 24 plus 17, 41 of total 130 applied to arts. This is the first person. Now, the probability of second person, because this person is already chosen, the second person will be 40 out of 129 left now. And just simplify this, that will be the probability that both of them applied for arts. It's 164 over 1677. That's the answer. Moving on to the question number 2. The owner of a convenience store installs two security cameras, C1 and C2. You can see here. Both cameras point toward the center of the store's cash register. It does not mean that the cash register is at center. No, this is the cash register somewhere. Let's say it is X meters from this corner. So this will be remaining 6.4 meters, this one, minus X. So don't assume that it is at the center. The distance from camera 1 to the center of the cash register is 2.8. They have written here. Determine the angle of depression from camera 1. So this will be the angle of depression. If we draw a horizontal line here, this is an angle of depression to the center of the cash register. Give your answer in degrees. Okay. So calculating it this way will be difficult. So what can we do? We can complete a triangle here, right? This will be the angle equal to angle of depression because they are alternate angles. So we know total height is 3.1 meters and the height of the center of cash register is 1 meter. So remaining here is 2.1 meters. Yes, out of 3.1, remove 1 meters. So we know a new triangle now here. It is 2.1. This is theta. This is 2.8. What is the question? They're asking us to find theta. So now in this triangle, we can see that sine theta will be opposite 2.1 over hypotenuse 2.8. So theta will be sine inverse 2.1 over 2.8, and they want answer in degrees. So set your calculator to degrees and find it. I will use my calculator. By the time I do this, I would request you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share with your friends. This is a new channel, so please motivate me to make many more videos like this by subscribing. Okay, what I got from my calculator was 48.59, and in exams we have to round it off to either exact or nearest 3 significant figures. So it will be 48.6 degrees. All right, what about the next one? Calculate the distance from camera 2 to the center of the register. This distance they are saying, let's call this distance y. Okay, so we can complete this one as well. So in this triangle, the base is 66.4 minus x. Okay, they want this. Now we have two variables here. This is again 2.1 meters, and they want calculate the distance. This distance they want. Okay, if we find x first, then only we'll be able to find y. So this is x, right? In the previous drawing, the diagram we drew. So let's find x with the help of 2.1 and 2.8 by using Pythagorean theorem. So x square plus 2.1 square equal to 2.8 square hypotenuse square, right? So x square will be 2.8 square minus 2.1 square. To find x, we will square root both sides and only positive answer will write because distance cannot be negative. So let's see how much that is. 2.8 square minus 2.1 square square root is 1.852. Let me write the whole number here so that it does not affect my final answer. 1.852 meters. So now 6.4 minus this will give us y. So here in this, again using Pythagorean theorem, 2.1 square plus 6.4 minus x is now 1.852 square will be equal to y square. So again we'll square root both sides and put this in our calculator, this one. It comes out to be 5.00942, which we can write as 5.00 meters. That's the distance y. See, without further calculation, determine which camera has the largest angle of depression. So if I draw another here,
and let's call this angle alpha. Which one is larger? That's what they're trying to say. Of the cache to the center of the cache register, justify your response. So now, if I complete this, and it becomes a triangle like this, right? So this is 2.8, this is 5 meters. And the common line between them is 2.1 meter, this middle line, okay? So for this, we should know that the sine theta, sine trig ratio, we can write not theta, trig, because theta will indicate this one. Trig ratio is higher as angle increases. Angle increases from 0 to pi by 2 or 90 degrees. Right? As angle increases, the sine also increases. We know that 2.1 over 2.8 will be more than 2.1 over 5. Right? Because reason we should always give the reason, because denominator 2.8 is greater than 5. Right? 2.1 over 2.8, if you see here, is sine theta. Will be greater than 2.1 over 5 is sine alpha. That means, and because of this reason, as the angle sine, the ratio is higher, angle will be greater than alpha. So it means that angle of depression from C1 will be more than angle of depression from C2.
Question number 4. The pH of a solution measures its acidity and can be determined using the formula this, where C is the concentration of hydronium ions, okay, in the solution measured in moles per liter. Okay, this is the concentration of hydronium ions. A lower pH indicates more acidic solution. The concentration of hydronium ions in a particular type of coffee is this, moles per liter. That means C is 1.3 times 10 to the power minus 5. This C, okay. Find pH. So we can find it. pH is equal to minus log, no need to write base 10, because if you don't write, it means base 10. And C is 1.3 times 10 to the power negative 5. Okay, just plug this in your calculator and you'll get your answer. What I'm getting is 4.886 or 4.89. This is the pH. Okay, a different unknown liquid has 10 times the concentration of hydronium ions of the coffee in part. That means 10 times this, 1.3. So first let's find what is the concentration in this case. It will be 10 times 1.3 times 10 to the power minus 5. Since this 10 and this 10 have same base, here the exponent is 1. So we will get 1.3 times 10 to the power minus 4. 1 plus minus 5 is minus 4. This is the concentration for this new liquid. And now we'll find the pH for this. It will be minus log 1.3 times 10 to the power negative 4, which comes out to be 3.88. Okay, 6. So we can write 89. 3.89. Okay. Now determine whether the unknown liquid is more or less acidic. The pH value is lesser than this, right? So we can write 3.89 is less than 4.89. So the unknown liquid is more acidic, because they said lower the pH. A lower pH indicates more acidic, so that's why the unknown is more acidic.
A polygraph test is used to determine whether people are telling the truth or not. But it is not completely accurate. When a person tells the truth, they have a 20% chance of failing the test. Wow. 10 people take a polygraph test and all 10 tell the truth. Okay. Calculate the expected number of people who will pass this polygraph test. Probability of success that they are telling the truth, right, is 80%, which is 0.8. That means failing the test is 0.2. Expected number. So expected value of passing the test will be total is n times p. N is total number of people who took the test, which is 10, and p is 0.8. That means only 8 persons are expected to pass the test. B. Calculate the probability that exactly 4 people will fail the test. Now failing is, this is B part, failing is success in this case. That means P will be 0.2 and Q will be 0.8. The success and failure have changed for B part. And we want exactly 4 people. So when we say probability that X is exactly 4, in that case we write total 10 C4 and then success P 0.2 to the power how many pass? We want exactly 4 to pass and exactly 6 of remaining to fail. This is the binomial distribution we will use and we'll get our answer. And this comes out to be 0.08808. So have they given any? No. So we'll write 3 significant figures only in this one. 0.088. This is the probability. Okay, C part. Determine the probability that fewer than 7 people will pass this polygraph test. So C part. We want probability of fewer than 7. So X is less than 7. That means probability of X equal to 0. Means it's possible that none of them pass the test. Okay. Again, the question is pass. That means again the P is 0.8 in this case. Q is 0.2. All right. Like just the first part, A part. Okay, so P is X is less than 7 is 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're saying fewer than 7, that means not 7. Okay, what is excluded? 7, 8, 9 and 10. If I calculate these, there are 8 possibilities. And if I calculate these, there are just 4 possibilities. So I'll prefer to calculate these 4 and because we don't want them, we'll make them 1 minus. So what I mean is this, 1 minus probability that 7 people pass the test. Okay, they're saying fewer than 7, but I'm saying 7. Probability that X is 8, probability that X is 9, probability X is 10. These 4 I will calculate, but since we don't want this, I will subtract it from 1 and I'll get it. So if I interpret this in binomial distribution, it will be 10, 7. Now success is 0.8. Failure is remaining 3 plus 10, 8.
After using my calculator, I get 1 minus 0.2013 plus 0.3020 plus 0.2684, 0.1074. And if I put again in my calculator, I get 0.120 9 or 0.121. Three significant figures. Okay, let's move on to the next one, question number 4. The graph of y equal to 6 minus x. Okay, 6 minus x is this one, this straight line, and y equal to this curve is quadratic parabola, intersect is 2, 4, okay, and negative 1, 7 as shown. The region is enclosed by the shaded region they're talking about. X equal to 6 minus this is 6 minus x. X equal to minus 1. Minus 1 is the coordinate here. So this is the line they're talking about. X equal to 2 and x-axis. This is what is enclosing the shaded part. Okay. Calculate the area of the shaded region. Okay. If you see that area, it is in the shape of a trapezium. Yeah. And what is the area of a trapezium? Area of a trapezium is half first parallel line plus second parallel line multiplied by the distance between them, which is called height. And that's what we're going to use here. Half first parallel line, let's say this is first parallel line. The y coordinate will be the length of this line, which is 4, plus second parallel line, and it will be 7 in this case, multiplied by height between them. This is the perpendicular height between them, which is, this is x equal to how much? Negative 1. This is x equal to 2. So the distance between 2 and minus 1 will be 2 minus 1, which is 3. So it becomes half times 11 times 3. That is 33 divided by 2. 16.5 unit square. That's the area of the trapezium shaded part. Okay, let's move on to the second part of this. In the diagram 2, the region enclosed by the curve. Okay, this is the curve. Okay, lines x equal to minus 1, line x equal to 2, and x-axis. This is the area which is enclosed by these 4 lines. Write down an integral for the area of the shaded region. We know that the area under curve, this is the curve. Area under curve is found by integration of the curve between the two x values, which is minus 1 and 2, and that will be the integral, which will be from negative 1 to 2, and write to the equation of the curve here, 1.5 x square minus 2.5 x plus 3 dx. That's the answer of part 1. Okay, second says calculate the area of the region. Okay, basically they're asking us to solve this definite integral. Okay, so we'll have to integrate 1.5 x squared first, so it will be 1.5, the exponent goes up by 1, so it will be 3, and divided by the same new exponent, minus 2.5 goes up by 1, same exponent, plus 3, and it has no x, so we can write it x to the power 0 plus 1. Yeah, there is no x, so 0, so 1 divided by 1, there is no need, plus c from negative 1 to 3, and just substitute the values here. I'm going to do that now. 1.5 over 3, 2 will be replaced first, minus 2.5, 2 square over 2, plus 3 times 2, no need to write 1, no need to write c also, but since it is there, I'm writing it, it will be cancelled out. 1.5 negative 1 cube over 3, and minus 2.5 negative 1 square over 2, plus 3 times negative 1 plus c. Do this, that remove c's first, and now we'll get our answer. 2 cube is 8. 8 times 1.5 will be 12 over 3, minus one of the 2's will cancel with this, so 2.5 times 2 is 5, 3 times 2 is 6,
minus. Negative 1 cube will be negative again, so it will become negative 1.5 over 3. This negative 1 square will become positive 1, so it won't change any sign. It will become 2.5 over 2. This will become negative 3. And let's open the brackets now. 12 over 3 is 4 minus 5 plus 6. This negative and this negative becomes positive. 1.5 divided by 3 is 0.5. This negative and this negative again positive. 2.5 divided by 2 is 1.25 plus 3. So negative 5 is the only negative one here. So 4 plus 6 is 10.5, 11.75, 14.75 minus 5, which is 9.75 units square. C part. Hence, determine the area enclosed by y. Let me change the color of this one. Okay, y equal to 6 minus x, this one. Y equal to this. Okay, the white part they're saying. So since we know the area of the whole trapezium from first part and the area we need to remove from trapezium from second part, then we'll get the white part. So it will be, what was the answer first? 16.5. Okay. 16.5 minus 9.75. That's how we'll find the white area they're asking. So it will be 6.275. Yeah, 75 units square. That is the answer of C part. Question 7. A college runs a mathematics course in the morning. Scores of a test from this they are in increasing order. Yes, they are in increasing order. For these data, the lower quartile is 62 and the upper quartile 88. So they've saved some time for us because otherwise we would have to find it. Show that a score of 25 would not be considered as an outlier. How do we decide an outlier? Outlier, rather I will say lower outlier, because 25 is lower, right? If is less than Q1 lower quartile minus 1.5 times interquartile range. If this is less than this amount, then it's an outlier. So let's see, what do we get from this? Q1, they have already given lower quartile. Q1 is 62, right? IQR we'll have to find, which is Q3 minus Q1, upper quartile minus lower quartile. Upper quartile they have given as 88. So 88 minus 62, which is 26, right? So let's test. Where is 25? So Q1 is 62 minus 1.5 times 26, outlier. For outlier, this is the calculation. So 62 minus 39, which is 23. So 23 and below are outliers, but this is 25. So we can say that 23 is less than 25, or we can write the reverse because we are verifying for 25. So we can say that 25 is greater than 23, so it is not an outlier. Okay, B part. Another mathematics class has this. Okay, a researcher reviews the box and whisker diagrams. Okay, they are there. With reference to the box and whisker diagrams, state one aspect that may support researchers. What is this? He believes that evening classes perform better than the morning classes. Evening classes are these ones and morning classes are that one. Okay, state one aspect that may support teacher's opinion, researcher's opinion, and one aspect that counter it. So the one that supports. We can see that the median is higher for evening classes. So median is higher indicates
more scores are above that upper half of data for evening classes is higher. So the researchers' belief is correct in this case. Now the one which is against it. So against means the lowest score, and what we can write it is about 18. And Q1, what is Q1? 54, almost 54 are lower than morning classes, which means more students did bad in the test. Okay, that's supporting and against what researchers believes. The graph shows the average savings as $1,000, okay, of a group of university students, okay, as a function of t after graduating, right? Graduates. So part A says write down one feature of this graph which suggests a cubic function might be appropriate. There are two features actually. I'm writing both of them. You can write one of them. First is, if you notice, there are 3 x-intercepts. So a cubic function usually has 3 x-intercepts. So not all of them, okay? Many of them don't, but we can say it has 3 x-intercepts. That most probably makes it a cubic. Second one, if you look, there are 2 turning points. This is one here, this is one here. The 2 turning points. So a cubic function usually has 2 turning points. So these are the 2 features. Turning points are also called stationary points. All right, the equation of the model can be expressed as this, okay? The graph of the model must pass, that means these are the actual points, through those points. Write down the value of D. The value of D is actually, let me write the equation first, B. And the equation is S equal to AT cube plus BT square plus CT plus D. Now the question is, write down the value of D. How can I find D? I will find D if T is 0. If I make T equal to 0, this will become 0. So A0 cube plus B0 square plus C0 plus D. That will become S when T is 0. Look at your table. When T is 0, S is negative 5. That means negative 5 is equal to D because everything else is 0, and that is the value of D, negative 5. Part 2. Write down 3 simultaneous equations for A, B, C. So then we have 3 more columns in this table. They will help us to find the simultaneous equations. So this is the equation. I'll plug in the first one. When T is 1, S is 3. So S is 3 when T is 1. So in place of T, I will write 1. In place of S, I have already written 3. So, and D, I know the value of D now, so I will write the value of D in place of D.
So what do we get here? 3 equal to a plus b plus c minus 5. And let's me bring this negative 5 to the other side. By adding 5 here, we get first simultaneous equation. A plus c is equal to a plus b plus c is equal to 8. That's the first simultaneous equation. Let's call it equation number 1. Second, for second, look at this third column rather. So here s is negative 1 when s is 2. So s is negative 1 when t is 2. So let's bring this negative 5 again to the other side. It becomes negative 1 plus 5. And here we get 8a plus 4b plus 2c. And that is equal to 6 now. No, not 6, 4. So this becomes second equation. If you want to simplify this, because all of them are even, you can divide every one by 2 to make it simpler. So it becomes 4a plus 2b plus c is equal to 2. Equation number 2. Let's get one more from the third column. When s is minus 5, t is 3, right? When t is 3, s is minus 5. So a 3 cube plus b 3 square plus c 3, and we have minus 5. So minus 5 and the other 5 comes here. It becomes 27a cube plus 9b plus 3c. Okay, that's it. So finally it will become how much? 0. This one is 0, right? Equal to 27a cube plus 9b plus 3c. We can again divide a whole equation by 3 so that it is simpler. So it becomes 9a cube plus 3b plus c is equal to 0. This is equation number 3. So that is the answer of part 2. Now they're saying hence or otherwise find the values of a, b, c. There are some methods by which we can do this, but we will use because of these 3. So this is a, b and c equal to equation number 1. If I multiply this by 4, it will become equal to this, right? So let me write it. Multiply first equation number 1 multiplied by 4. So it becomes 4a plus 4b plus 4c plus 32, equal to 32. And equation number 2, we'll subtract 2 from it. So 4a plus 2b plus c equal to 2, we'll subtract it. 4a minus 4a is 0. 4b minus 2b is 2b. 4c minus c is 3c is equal to 30. This becomes equation number 4. Similarly, let's multiply equation number 1 by 9 so that again I get equation in terms of b and c. Did I write cube here? I shouldn't have. So no cube. So we get 9a plus 9b plus 9c equal to 72 when we multiply equation number 1 by 9, and here we get 9a plus 3b plus c equal to 0. Subtract, cancel. 9b plus minus 3b is 6b. 9c minus c is 8c equal to 72. This is equation number 5. Now this is in terms of b and c. This is also in b and c. Let's multiply this equation number 4 by 3 so that it becomes 6b, and then subtract equation number 5 from it. So I'm multiplying this equation by 3. 6b plus 9c equal to 90. Now we have equation number 5, which is 6b plus 8c equal to 72, and subtract. So this cancels out. 9 minus 8 is just c equal to 18. We got c first. Now we can use let's use this equation number 4 to get b. So I'll need some space for this. Go down. Okay, so our equation number 4 was how much? Not 4. Yes, 4. 2b plus 3c equal to 30. This is equation number 4. So substitute c equal to 18 in this now. 2b plus 3 times 18 equal to 30. 2b equal to 30. And this is 54, which will become minus 54 when it comes to right side. 2b equal to negative 24, and b will be negative 24 divided by 2, which is minus 12. b is minus 12. We have c, we have b, let's find a. We knew from equation number 1, a plus b plus c was 8. So a is unknown, b is known to us now, negative 12. Plus c is 18 equal to 8, 6. So a equal to 8 minus 6, yeah, because this is positive 6, negative 6. So a is 2. Got all three, a, b, and c in this case. Question 10. The masses of Fuji apples are normally distributed with a mean of 163 grams and standard deviation is 6.83. So let's draw this and we will understand this better. So the mean is 163 grams and standard deviation is 6.83 grams. When Fuji apples are picked, they are classified as small, medium, large, and extra large. Large apples have a mass between 172 and 183. Determine the probability that Fuji apple selected at random will be large apple, and it is between 172 is suppose here 172 and here is 183. This is the probability that it will be between 172 and 183. So what we need to do here is we have to find the p-value. So p-value will be for the z-scores, which is 172 minus 163 divided by 6.8. This is how we find z-score for 172, and the upper one will be 183 minus 163 over 6.83. Okay, and that probability we have to find. So probability is the z-score for this one will be 1.31, almost 8. Z is 2.9282. Okay, and now we can find the probability. So our calculator gives us the probability, but normally what we do, we find the probability below this, yeah, with the help of the p value on your calculator, and we get the probability below this. So let me write here, probability of z is below 2.9282. let's find the bigger one first. I get it from my calculator, 0.9983. And probability of z less than 1.318 is 0.9062. And if I subtract the smaller one, then 172, this z score, this z value, from this I will get the difference, and that's what I'm going to do now.
So probability of Z between 1.318 and 2.9282 is 0.0921. This is the probability that Fuji apple selected at random will be a large apple. B part. Approximately 68% of Fuji apples have a mass within the medium size category. 68%. Okay, so let's draw this again. 163. So 68 obviously will be somewhere here, and here we don't know these. Here it will be 68%. Okay, so which is between K and 172. So 172 is here and K is here. Okay, so find the value of K. That's what they're saying. All right, so we can use the exactly same here, but in here we know the P value now. So P of K minus 163 divided by 6.83 less than Z, and we got Z for this one already, 1.3181 for 172. Yes, 1.318. Okay, and that probability is 68%, 0.68. So we'll do the exactly same thing what we did here. The probability of this minus probability of this Z will be 0.68. So 0.9062. This is what we got for it. So 0.9062 minus, and let's say that this probability for this one is X. Let's assume that we get it is equal to 0.68. So X will be goes there, it comes in 0.9062 minus 0.68, yeah, which will be 0.2262. The probability of our data being less than K is 0.2262, right? And we have to find that Z score for this. And basically here we found probability P from Z, but in B part we have to find this is P, okay, which is X. X is actually probability. So from probability we have to find the Z score. So we'll use our calculator again. What I'm getting here, it will be obviously negative. I'm getting negative 0.75, and we know that this negative 0.75 is this. That is that score, K minus 163 over 6.83. Cross multiply. So we get what? Negative 0.75 times 6.83 equal to K minus 163. Now what we can do, we can bring this 163 here. So what do we get? 163 minus 0.75 times 6.83 is equal to K, and that comes out to be K is 157.8775 rounded off to 3 significant figures, 158 grams. That is the value of K. Question 11. Consider the function fx equal to x square minus 3 over x. X is not equal to 0, obviously. Find f prime x. That means differentiate fx. So if I differentiate x square, the differentiation is 2x. Differentiating minus 3 over x. So I'll have to do it let me do it here. Minus 3 over x can be written as minus 3x to the power minus 1. Yeah, I bring this x up, and its exponent, which was 1 earlier, became negative 1 when I reciprocated. To differentiate, this minus will go and multiply with minus 3. So it becomes plus 3, and the exponent goes down by 1. So minus 1 will be minus 2, which can be written as 3 over x square. That is the differentiation of minus 3 over x, and we got f prime x. This is the answer. Okay, line L is a tangent to fx. Okay, so suppose this is fx, so line L is tangent to it. Okay, at 1 minus 2. So the point here is 1 minus 2. Use your answer in part A to find the gradient of L. So the gradient of any tangent at a point is actually the first derivative at that point. So basically they're asking us to find f prime when x is 1. That's what they're asking. So we'll write 2 times 1 plus 3 over 1 square, which is 2 plus 3. 5. Gradient at this point of L is 5. C. Determine the number of lines parallel to L that are tangent to fx. Justify your answer. That means this curve could be like this. So the tangents parallel to this will be at this, parallel to this one, and this, maybe here also. So they're asking us all determine the number of lines parallel, numbers. So we have to give a number, how many, and that's it. All right. So to have this the line parallel, the tangent parallel to this, that tangent, those other tangents should have this particular gradient, right? That means dy over dx has to be equal to 5 for them. And what is dy over dx for us? Or first derivative, this is the one. So we can just write it here. C. 2x plus 3 over x square is equal to 5. Now to get rid of the denominator, I multiply the whole equation by x square. So what do I get? 2x cube plus 3. Yeah, x square multiplied by 2x is 2x cube, but here this x square will get cancelled out. Only 3 is left, equal to 5x square. Let's put everything to the left side. So 2x cube minus 5x square plus 3 equal to 0. And you can manually factor this, but marks are just 3, so we can use our calculator, which will give us the answer straightforwardly. Just enter a equal to a2, b equal to minus 5, c is equal to 0. Okay, there is no x, and this will be d. Enter this in a calculator and you get your answer. What I'm getting is 0.686, 2.186, and 1. So this is a cubic equation. It has 3 roots, 3 solutions. So answer is there are parallel to L. There are 2, because 1 is already with us, right? They have given this one already. So there are 2 more lines parallel to L and tangent to fx. Question 12. The cross section of an arched entrance to the ballroom of a hotel is in the shape of a parabola. Okay, this cross section can be modeled by this equation, where y is the height. Okay, they have written here y is height, and x is the distance from one corner. Okay, point O, that is in the bottom corner of the archway. Determine an equation for the axis of symmetry. So first of all, we should know what is axis of symmetry. This is axis of symmetry, the line that divides the parabola into 2 parts which are reflection of each other. This is called axis of symmetry. Okay, and models which way. Basically we have to find this x coordinate, and x equal to that coordinate will be our equation. So what can we do? Let's find the vertex of this particular parabola. The x coordinate of that vertex will be the x coordinate of this point. Okay, so I'll convert this. So I'm doing a part here. I'm converting minus 1.6 x square plus 4.48x as vertex format. So y equal to convert it to vertex form, what do? We take negative 1.6 out of the bracket and then we start a bracket. What is left are both of them, which is x square from this and then 1.6 also, negative 1.6 also from this. So we'll write 4.48 over negative 1.6, which we took out, which is not here in this. We divide it here, x, and then we leave some space for something. I'll tell you in the next step. Okay, that means I have changed the look of this particular equation, but I have not changed the equation. Next step will be negative 1.6 x square, and 4.48 divided by negative 1.6 is negative 2.8 x. Now I left some space here, right? In that space we add the square of half of this and positive, okay? So half of 2.8 is 1.4 square. This is what we add to this, but we can't just add anything anyhow. We have to compensate. So we'll subtract also the same 1.4 square, but this effectively is not 1.4 square, it is multiplied by this also. So multiplied by negative 1.6. This is added here, same thing is subtracted outside. So basically we have added nothing. We have just changed the look of this one. So what do we get here? Minus 1.6 square root of this, which is x, sine, this only sine, minus square root of this one, which is 1.4, and square outside, and this gives us plus 3.136. Try to understand. If I open this bracket again, I will get exactly same, a square plus b square plus minus 2ab, and this is what I've converted into a perfect square. What is the advantage? This is called vertex form. In vertex form, negative of what is after x is the x coordinate of the vertex. X is negative of negative 1.4, so negative of negative 1.4 is 1.4. So the x coordinate is 1.4, and this becomes the one which is outside, it becomes the y coordinate 3.136. So that makes perfect sense. Since this is an entrance of an arch, that means its height, this height is 3.136, and half of the width is 1.4, and 1.4, this is 2.8 basically, and this is 1.4. So back to our question. They said determine an equation for the axis of symmetry. So the equation of axis of symmetry will be x equal to 1.4. That's the equation of axis of symmetry. To prepare for an event, a square base crate that is 1.6 meters wide and 2 meters high is to be moved through the archway. Okay, so let's say this is the box. Okay, so this is wide is how much? 1.6. Height is 2 meters. Okay, the crate must remain upright. That means you can't just tilt it. That means you just rotate it somehow, that 1.6 comes this way, 2 goes up. No, you can't. Must remain upright because maybe something is inside which can spill or break. So we can't. Determine whether the crate will fill through the archway. Justify your answer. Basically, they're asking that when the height is 2 meter on this arch, suppose height is 2 meter here and here, is the width 1.6 or less so that the crate can go inside, or it is more? If it is this length is more, crate can go inside, but if it is less than 1.6, the crate will stuck. That's what they're saying. So what will we do? We will see what is the distance between two places where the y value is 2 meters. This is y value, and something 2, something 2. We will find these two somethings, and let's do that. So our equation was y equal to, the original equation I'm talking about, this was the equation, right? Y equal to minus 1.6 x square plus 4.48x, right? So y is 2 meter for us now. So 2 equal to negative 1.6x square plus 4.48x. Let's bring them to the left side. It becomes a quadratic equation. Minus 4.48x plus 2 equal to 0. And we'll again use our calculator. Put this equal to a, b and c, and it will give us solutions straight away. What I'm getting here in my calculator is 2.24 and 0.557. So that means this x coordinate, this one, the smaller one, is 0.557. This one is 2.24. So we'll see that difference. What is the difference between them? And 2.24 minus 0.557 is equal to 1.683, more than 1.6 meters. So we can say yes, the crate will go through the arch. There's no problem. Juliana plans to invest money for 10 years in an account paying 3.5% interest compounded annually. Annually, that makes it easy. She expects an annual inflation of 2% per year throughout 10 years period. That means the real percentage interest will not be 3.5 anymore. It will be 3.5 minus 2, which is 1.5% effective every year. Juliana would like her investment to be worth 4,000, real value 4,000, okay, after 10 years basically, compared to current value. At the end of 10 years period, she is considering two options. These are the two options. Make one-time investment at the start of 10 years period. So invest something here, and after 10 years you get some amount. All right. Option 2, invest 1,000 at the start of the 10 years. So 1,000 at the start of the first year, and then X dollars into the account at the end of each year. So end of 1 year, it will be X. At the end of 2 years, X, and so on. And we will complete the starting of this. Is, if I say 0 years here, this is 1 year. So this will be after 10 years. All right. Option 1. For option 1, determine the minimum amount Juliana would need to invest. Give her answer to the nearest dollar. Okay. Since there is no other investment than the first one, we will simply use the compound interest formula in this. So A, compound interest formula is A equal to P1 plus R to the power N. So amount we want is 4,000. Principal, what we need to invest, 1 plus R in decimals will be 0.015, because 1.5% is the effective interest. So we'll convert it to decimal and to the power 10 years we want. Okay. So divide both sides by the same thing. 1 plus 1 on 0, 1, it will be 1.015 to the power 10. Okay. This one, so we'll divide here also. So this whole cancels with this, so we are left with only principal equal to 4,000 divided by 1.015 to the power 10. Let me use my calculator. By the time I do this, I would request you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share with your friends, and increase the community associated with this channel. I'll be motivated to make many more videos like this. It took more than a month to increase to the level I wanted for part 2. So please subscribe, ask others to subscribe. Thank you. So what I got here is 3,446.6689. If you want to round it off to 3 significant figures, it will be 3450. Yeah, because they're saying what's the real value of 4,000, so it will be a little more than 4,000. It's okay. All right, B. Option 2, find the minimum value of X, minimum, okay, X that Juliana would need to invest each year. All right, so first, this 1000 has nothing to do with these X's. So let's talk about this 1000 only because it is there for the tenure of whole 10 years. That means it will be just like the one we did in part A. But here we will find A because our P is 1000 at the starting of the investment. So 1 plus 0.015 to the power 10. Full 10 years we'll get interest on this, and amount comes out to be 1160.56. This is what it will become after 10 years. So done. That means remaining, remember, he wants $4,000 at the end of 10 years, right? Out of 4,000, he will get 1160. So remaining are how many? 4,000 minus 1160.56, which will be 2839.44 dollars. This he needs to earn, or sorry, Juliana needs to earn from these investment which she is putting in every year. All right. So we will use the same formula for them but individually. So can I say that A1 will be the amount of this investment, this X she invests. So what will that be? X 1.015 to the power 9 this time, correct? A2 will be the amount of the X investment at the end of 2 years, right? So 1.015 to the power 80 because it is therefore 8 years more, and so on. Last one will be at the end of 9 years. Nobody invests at the time the person wants to withdraw money. So year 9 will be the last one, and that will be A9, which will be X 1.015 to the power just 1. Okay. So now what is the amount? Total amount will be A1 plus A2 plus A3 A9, which we want equal to $2839.44. This should be the sum of these investments. So let's write A1 first, which is this, which is X 1.015 to the power 9. Second is X 1.015 to the power 8 plus, and that will be, last one will be X 1.015 to the power 1, and this has to be equal to 2839.44. Let's take X common out of them, and I'm doing a trick here. What I'm doing, I'm writing the last one first because this is the smaller number. So 1.015 to the power 1, 1.015 to the power 2, and I will reach to this one because that will become a geometric sequence, and which I can add very easily with the help of this formula. What do we know? Sn for geometric sequence is A1 the first, or U, you can write U in place of A. The first term r to the power n minus 1 over r minus 1, and that's how I will find this. So this whole thing was equal to 2839.44. Okay, let's get some space here. So X, and I will use the formula I wrote just here. U1, what is the first term? 1.015. What is R? Every time it is multiplying by 1.015, so that becomes R as well. And how many terms are there total? 9 minus 1 over 1.015 minus 1 equal to 2839.44. So let's find
what is it equal to? It becomes x, and if I put this whole thing in my calculator, I get a 9.702721 equal to 2839.44. So divide both sides by same number so that this cancels. 9.702721, and x value comes out to be 292.6436, and let's round it off to $291 every year. Besides this $1,000, she has to invest $291 at the end of every year, starting from the end of first year, and she will get about $4,000 at the end of 10 years.